Today I'm going to show you how to take your Cricut seam and make it almost an invisible straight seam. This is what your finished product is going to look like if you're following a pattern. A lot of times people will get this Cricut seam either this way or that way. On this one, you're just alternating what starting stitch you are going in to make it straight. So I have done just a traditional start. I've chained 24. I've gotten 24 stitches. This is my chain 2, and I typically use the chain 2 when I'm doing double crochet. I know a lot of people use chain 3, but I tend to use chain 2. So I've done 24 around. I am going to not join in my chain 2. I'm joining in my first stitch. So skip the chain 2, and again, I do not use my chain 2 as my first stitch. I don't count them. Okay, so I'm going to chain 2 here, and on the second row I am not going to double crochet in here. I'm going to double crochet in here, the second one. So again, here's my first stitch where I'm going to skip. I'm going to double crochet in this one right here. So we're going to double crochet around, and then I will stop when I get to 23 because I have 24 stitches, and then you can see how I finish it. So again, I skip this first one, and I am double crocheting in this one right here, and I'll see you when I get to 23. Okay, so here is I'm on 23. I have one more, so I'm going to do my 24th stitch right here. Right there, right before my chain 2. And here is my chain 2 right here. So I'm going to skip the chain 2 again, and I'm going to slip stitch into the first stitch I made. And that's my second row. So I'm going to chain 2. And then, so this is where it changes a little bit. So instead of double crocheting again in the next one over here, I'm going to double crochet in this one right here. Star Wars is popular in my house. So, I don't know if you heard my son singing. So again, right here, not right here, like we did in the previous round. So this is where it kind of evens itself out. So there is the first double crochet in this first stitch, and then you're going to go around again. And I will meet you back here when I get to 23. Okay, so I did 23. I'm going to go to my 24th now, and as you can see, the 24th stitch, the last stitch in this row, is ending one before the one in the last row. So the one in the last row ended right here, and then the one in this row ends here. So you're just again alternating. So I'm going to join not in my chain 2 because again I do not use my chain 2 as my first stitch. I'm going to slip stitch into the first stitch, and then I'm going to chain 2, and because the last stitch we did it on this one, we're going to skip this one, and now we're going to do the first stitch on this one, in this one, this stitch right here. So skip this one, first double crochet in this one, and again this is what's making this seam straight so it doesn't go from one side or the other. So go ahead and go around, and I'll meet you back here when I get to the last stitch. Okay, so I did the 23rd stitch. Now I'm on the 24th, and I'm putting the 24th stitch right before the chain 2, right here. So there's my last double crochet, and again this is just alternating back and forth. So there's the chain 2. So here's the chain 2, you're skipping the chain 2, and you're joining right here on the first stitch again, and then I'm going to chain 2 for my next row, and I'm chaining 2 for my next row, and as you can see in the previous row, again I have this little gap. I skipped this one, and I double crocheted in this one, so this one I'm going to start my double crochet in the first one and not this one. And so this should be the last row. Everything else is just alternating back and forth. You can go as long as you want with this, and then I will show you the completed seam in just a minute. So here's the finished seam on this one. So you can see it just goes straight up and down. And here is the seam on the crooked one. So you can see what a difference it really does make. And honestly, it's a lot less visible, the seam in general. You can kind of see it on the video, but like when you see it in person, you really can't even see a seam. It's almost seamless, which is kind of cool. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to comment or message me, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks.